Let's get into our 3 best college football moments of 2022/23. All right, we can sit here and get technical if you want. But I'm going to start, all right? One of my top 3, not number 1, but one of my top 3, it's the App State Hail Mary. Okay, and it's not just because it was a Hail Mary. And I want to run this clip and then give some context behind it. Let's go ahead and play this clip. They're down 28-26 to Troy with 2 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. And scene.
Here's Bryce. Rolling out. Time to heave it deep. Throws it shy of the goal line, and that ball is tipped around.
Wow!
Oh, that's a touchdown!
Wow!
Unbelievable. Look at that. With
Incredible.
Game day there.
Yeah, that's my thing. So the Sun Belt, and again, I'm a little biased toward the Sun Belt, obviously, you know, South Alabama and all that stuff. I mean, you had some huge wins by the Sun Belt. I mean, speaking of Notre Dame, Marshall beat them. App State beat A&M. Look at what James Madison came into Division I and did. I can go down the list of big wins. South Alabama should have beat UCLA, to be honest with you. But they got the spotlight. And you only have a very few opportunities if you're a conference like the Sun Belt to make the most of that opportunity, right? You only get one first impression. And to have game day after App State beat A&M, go to an App State-Troy game during the middle of the season, and to have it end with a Hail Mary like that and be entertaining is huge going forward for not only the Sun Belt, but other Group of 5 conferences. They came through. It was already a good game, back and forth. People were surprised Troy was up. But making a play like that and having a moment like that, I guarantee you has reserved another spot for game day going to the Sun Belt. Or the next time a Sun Belt team gives them the opportunity, hey, maybe we should go here. When they're making that decision, looking around the table, the guys with the crowns and the bags of gold, they say, guys, remember the last time we went there? App State threw a freaking Hail Mary, man. It was the best game of the day. So I thought that was huge for the little guy of college football. And speaking of the little guy, my second moment, it was the year of the Phoenix in college football. You just rise from the ashes. And we'll say TCU, right? TCU going to the national championship. That was a rise from the ashes. But Kansas, UConn made a bowl.
Yeah.
Vanderbilt won some games.
Yep.
They beat Florida. And not in a math contest.
Expectation.
Or civics debates. They exceeded the already lowest of expectations. Now they may have some. And then my favorite rise to, not prominence, but from the ashes, Mike Elko and Duke. What a great story. I'm sitting here, it's looking like basketball season, man. Kansas, UConn, Duke.
Yeah.
And we're talking about football? So I thought that was fantastic. And then number 3, the semifinals and the playoffs delivered. All right, I know that the championship game was the ass beating of a lifetime. But the semifinals in the playoffs absolutely delivered like Papa John's, man. So those are my 3 best moments.
I love that.
You like those?
I love that. All right.
And the time David Michigan saved the planes from the computer outage.
Man, thank goodness he did that.
Yeah.
Thank goodness he did that.
Today, our Booster Club bets are sponsored by DraftKings, the greatest sportsbook there's ever been. You need to download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now and use our code CRAIN, C-R-A-I-N. That's C-R-A-I-N, or C-RAIN, like they used to say when I used to shoot basketball. New customers can bet $5 on the NFL and get $200 in free bets instantly. We got playoffs this weekend, people, only at DraftKings Sportsbook with our code C-R-A-I-N. That's CRAIN. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details. Guys, again, we've sports bet for a long time. There is no better sports book, maybe the greatest book of all time, than DraftKings.
Did they really call you C-Rain?
Yes.
You're just making every
If I saw the basket, it's raining.
Well, you know what? I would like to take a player prop on DraftKings that you're going to make those shots.
I would. That's exactly.
That's
right.
what
You might
I
as well
wanna
call
see.
me Pfizer. Blaine, you love DraftKings.
Yeah, best sports book, out there. You get player props, anything you want, and as early as you want. I like to get in there early as I can, right in that 12:01, the stroke of midnight. So anything you're going to bet like a king, it's DraftKings.
Yeah, I love the fast and easy payouts, whether it's by mail, whether it's by check, whether it's by debit card, land, air, or sea, David. It's DraftKings Sportsbook. Use that code CRANE, and you'll get some special offers. Yeah.
All right, I want to go to. I want to see your Sun Belt wins. And I want to raise it up a level. September 10th, Georgia Southern beating Nebraska 45-42 in Lincoln. Kyle Van Treese throws for over 400 yards. Look, I grew up in the shadows of this Georgia Southern program. I know how much it means to the community. Grew up in a time where you could go up to Irk Russell at Snooki's or at Kmart and, say hey to him.
Yeah, I can't take you seriously when you say you want.
You guys, I'll tell you what, one breakfast there and you guys would have.
One breakfast and a shot of penicillin. You're
But no,
The wings are great there.
a program that won 6 national championships when I was growing up. Things kind of took a bad turn after coaching changes, and Paul Johnson left, and it was like we talked about it a lot. What's the identity? Are you going to continue to run the triple option? Are you trying to get into a pro style system? And when you talk about these Sun Belt teams, one of the problems that you have is if you get a coach in who has success, they get hired away.
Yeah.
That's one of the problems is like finding consistency. So for the Georgia Southern program to be able to go in year one and beat Nebraska on the road, I think was pretty cool. My second one was just the Tennessee and Alabama game.
Yeah.
When you look back in the regular season, that whole game was incredible. Tennessee beating Nick Saban for the first time since he's been at Alabama. You knew that the field was going to get stormed. You knew that the goalpost was going into the river. I would expect nothing less from the boys over in Knoxville. We have a clip of this here.
Yeah.
Well, if you don't like college football,
It's a sea of orange.
and
That's how COVID started.
Yeah, you can't even see grass or the
They
ground.
were selling the grass.
And not- and not
they
in
were
eBay.
selling
Yeah.
the grass
And-
on eBay.
and not in the way that gets you put in prison.
No.
They made a profit.
Yeah.
Not the grass that, the same grass that Les Miles was eating.
So that was just, when you look back at the regular season, there were a lot of great football games, but that one really stood out to me. Huge moment. My third one is a story actually from Michigan. We were talking about Michigan. This is Demetrius Walker, known as Michi.
Yeah.
He was a high school star football player from Muskegon. He had offers to play at the Division I level. He was even getting looked at from Michigan, his dream school. In the fall of 2020, though, he started having knee pain, and he was diagnosed with a rare bone cancer. And this story really blew up when Jim Harbaugh brought Michi into the program and allowed him to score a touchdown in training camp when there was a team scrimmage. And unfortunately, Michi passed away in December after a 2-year battle with bone cancer. But it was one of the stories throughout the season that especially the Michigan program was highlighting, and good on Jim Harbaugh for
Yeah.
Hell yeah,
That's
man.
what it's really about.
All right, mine. First of all, that's a cool ass story. I remember looking back on that. Switch it up a little bit. One of my coolest things going back and look on is Jimbo Fisher and Nick Saban getting into about NIL money.
Yeah, that was
A
great.
lot of people forget about
That was great.
beginning of the year, a lot of this, but they were going at it. I'm talking about in the media,
Personal.
personal
Personal
stuff. And there's
stuff.
nothing better when two coaches start getting personal with each other, because that's when you actually see behind the scenes. I'm not going to put a fake smile on just to talk to the media. This is what it's really like.
Yeah.
You want to sit in the office, you want to sit in a room with these guys in a meeting. This is what it's really like. So that was cool. My second one would be South Carolina, man. I mean, you beat number 2 Tennessee. You kind of get the monkey off your back a little bit.
A little bit,
right? You beat them. You go beat Clemson. Your quarterback's coming back. Everything's looking bright. You're climbing up the mountain. Who knows? Next year might be the year you reach to the top. Got to beat Georgia, though.
Yeah, well, the most shocking thing about South Carolina thing is they played horrible at Florida the week before.
Terrible.
I don't think they scored a touchdown. And it's just, we remembered.
Well, I mean, this is Coach Beamer for you.
Yeah.
I mean, my third thing, sometimes the darkest days brings out the best in people. I know Mike Leach dying was terrible, way too fast when it happened. But you kind of saw the best in college football come out and celebrate him, especially in the bowl season. Almost every team had a Mike Leach sticker on their helmet. You saw stories come out that you've never really seen of Mike Leach. And he was just celebrated throughout the world of college football, as he should be. So I know how bad that was and how sad I was and how terrible it was in general. But you see another way when something bad happens, the college football family comes together. We're not just fans, no matter who you
You saw it in the NFL, too.
Yeah, no matter who you root for. You could be an Alabama fan, an Auburn fan, an LSU fan, Tennessee fan, Ohio State fan. But when something bad happens to one of your family members in the college football family, you're going to stick up for each other and celebrate it.
That's.
I love that.
exactly
I mean, if you had, there's so many. You think of any other coach who could possibly have died and it would have made headline news and people would have told a story or two. But when that happened, it seemed like almost everybody came out with an anecdotal story of this one time I hung out with Mike Leach and this cool interaction happened.
Well, you find out like how much reach a person like
Yes.
that actually has. I mean, it's and again, like Wayne said, sometimes darkness brings out the light. You don't want that to happen. Just like you didn't want what happened to DeMar Hamlin to happen. But look at the response of not only the NFL, but the sports community in general. I mean, it's, again, you really find out in the darkest moments. YouTube, what's up? We're on a subscriber raise. Help us out. Make sure you sub, turn that notification bell on, and hit like on any of these videos. We'd really appreciate it. And it'll put you on the nice list for Santa Claus early this year.